Welcome, everybody, to the City of Farmers Branch Council meeting for Tuesday, August 6th. Our first order of business will be our invocation and pledge. If you would, please rise. Join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we ask that you shine your light on this city council tonight as we are here to do important work for our community. Help us to remember that we are here to serve others and not ourselves, that we are here to make decisions that will move our community forward, recognizing that we serve many different people, racially, socially, and economically, with dignity and respect. Give us guidance to look beyond ourselves. We ask that you shine your light on our police officers, firefighters, and first responders. They too are serving our community without fail, and we ask that you keep them safe. And finally, may the blessings that you have given us be a reminder that serving others is service to you. In Jesus' name we thank you. Amen. Now the pledges, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. And the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Yep. So this is the really fun part of being mayor or being on council, is being able to recognize some of our residents. And Councilman Jackson is going to help me tonight to...
Where do you want me?
Right here. Right here. And turn around so everybody can see you. So, Idris Hannigan is, I think, about the seventh or eighth resident that I've had the honor to recognize for turning 100 years old. So there must be something good in our water here in Farmers Branch. So I have a proclamation, and this is from the office of the mayor, and if you will allow me to read this. Whereas Idris R. Hannigan is celebrating her 100th birthday, and whereas Idris was born on July 18, 1924 in Silver City, New Mexico. On October 19, 1946, she married Clarence Hannigan in Hurley, New Mexico, and whereas in 1972, they relocated to Farmers Branch, Texas. They have 3 children, Edward from North Carolina, Susan Cumby from Texas here, and Jimmy Hannigan from Texas. Idris has been a member of the Chapel Hill United Methodist Church since 1971. She still attends when she can, but otherwise enjoys watching live broadcasts on Sundays. And whereas Idris has been a bridge player and has been involved in multiple volunteer activities, such as delivering for Meals on Wheels for 29 years. She has volunteered at the Dallas Medical Center for 45 years and has also volunteered at a hospital in Phoenix, Arizona, and an elementary school in New Orleans in the past. She recently saw her doctor, and her doctor told her, "Everything's great, we'll see you next year." So that's always good. And whereas Idris has lived in Farmers Branch for 52 years and enjoys being a part of the Farmers Branch community. Now therefore, I, Terry Lynn, Mayor of the City of Farmers Branch, do hereby honor Idris Hannigan for her 100th birthday and wish her continued health, prosperity, and happiness. Let's hear it. So we actually did this, was it 2 weeks ago? At the church and had a little ceremony. But tonight I have the real proclamation, which I'm going to give to you. I'll give to Jimmy. And would you like to say a few words?
All I can say is thank you, and I'm happy to be here. I didn't think I'd make 100 years, but I did, and I feel, all I want to say is thank you.
Well, thank you. And she's still growing strong.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Got a picture?
Oh, we got some pictures?
Yeah. There we go. That's great. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Much. We'll stick for a little bit. Yeah. Till I present a few more. Or is that all that's representation? Where did you go?
So next up are items of community interest.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. These items of community interest for this council meeting on August 6, 2023. Foundation improvements are complete and vertical construction is underway for the Star Center Multi-Sport Complex along I-35. Road improvements are also well underway along Denton Drive. This new athletic facility will occupy almost 80,000 square feet as a premier volleyball and basketball venue here in Farmers Branch. The Dallas Stars have targeted completion by the end of this year. West Nile virus has once again been detected here in Farmers Branch, this time in mosquito monitoring areas 3, 4, and 5. So spraying will occur in each area one night this week, either on Thursday, August 8th or Friday, August 9th, between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. Wind and weather permitting. Residents in those areas should bring in pets, cover pet dishes, and avoid going outdoors during spray times. Now, no human cases of West Nile virus have been reported in Farmers Branch. For more information, please call 972-919-2539. How would you like to serve on the City Council? Citizens in District 2 have that opportunity. A special election will be held on November 5th of this year to fill the unexpired term for District 2, which will run through May of 2026. Packets can be picked up from the city secretary's office or downloaded from the city website, but must be filed in person by August 22nd. Call 972-919-2503 for more information. The city has secured $2.5 million in federal funds to enhance residential homes in the Valwood Park neighborhood. Eligible homeowners can have their existing homes demolished and replaced with a brand new residence up to 1,300 square feet. To find out more, contact our Economic Development Office at 972-919-2509. This Friday, August 9th of 2024, will be the last day that First Baptist Church in Farmers Branch will host programming for the Branch Connection. On Monday, August 12th, TBC programs will return to their previous locations, either at the Rec Center, Aquatic Center, Mansky Library, or venue, while the Branch Connection is being renovated. For more information on this, you can call 972-919-8740. All right, get ready for the Battle of the Badges. Join us for a blood drive on Tuesday, August 27th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at City Hall. You can sign up for Team Red or Team Blue when you donate blood. Carter Blood Care will have 2 buses here as our 2 teams of first responders compete to see which one can collect the most. For more information, call 214-970-0052. Also on Tuesday, August 27th, same date, we will have a budget town hall at Mansky Library to review the city's proposed budget for the next fiscal year. The mayor and members of the council will attend to review the budget and answer any questions. It begins at 6 p.m. in the Community Hub room at the Mansky Library. And mark your calendars for October 18th and 19th at the Farmers Branch Historical Park for the 15th Annual Bloomin' Bluegrass Festival. The Del McCurry Band and Rhonda Vincent and The Rage will headline. Buy tickets online at bloominbluegrass.com. VIP cabanas go on sale Thursday. Christmas tea tickets go on sale beginning Monday, August 12th. Each tea service features live music, delicious treats, Christmas decor, and tea, of course. This year, they'll be December 7th and 14th. Tickets sell out quickly. Starting Monday, call 972-406-0184. And as always, you can sign up for City e-News at farmersbranchtx.gov. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Brady. Next up is our report on study session items. And, excuse me, we had a fairly full agenda this afternoon, talking about or hearing a presentation from the Carrollton Farmers Branch School District in regards to the proposed redesign of the campus of Farmers Branch Elementary and Cox Park. So two options were presented for council to take a look at. Council expressed preference in the option that did not interfere with the soccer fields that are presently on site over there. Some of that property does overlap where we've got soccer fields that are on city property and whatnot, so the boundary's a little sort of screwy over there, but we're going to get through all that, and it looks like as the school district continues to work on that, they will probably rebuild the school in place. We also had discussion regarding ordinance updates regarding vacant building registrations. We heard a brief presentation on our proposed city budget. The proposed budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year does include a 2.75 cent tax rate reduction. So council, obviously being good stewards of your money and being able to return some of your dollars through lowering the tax rate. And then, of course, we heard a report from council members and the mayor regarding all the different boards and liaison positions that we are involved with. To see that in its entirety, feel free to go to farmersbranchtx.gov, and it will be posted there. Next up are citizen comments. And I do have some folks that have signed up to speak this evening. When I call your name, please come up to the podium, state your name and address. You will have 3 minutes to speak. And if you would, anyone wishing to speak shall be courteous and cordial. Please refrain from any disparaging or inflammatory remarks directed any member of a board or commission, the city council, or city staff. So our first speaker this evening will be Bill Glancy.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, staff. My name is Bill Glancy. I live at 3808 Wooded Creek Drive in Farmers Branch, and I want to give you some information. I'll try my best to get this in 3 minutes, okay? But when I left as mayor back in 2011 and 12, I thought we had an agreement with a provider to build a progressive senior center down there right east of the hospital where the construction's going on now. And it was a pretty progressive center where it was independent living, assisted living, and nursing care. And I thought there was a great need for that in our community. Well, evidently it fell apart and we got a different investor. But in conjunction with that, back in 1975, the City of Farmers Branch set up a board, hospital authority, to finance these types of facilities. We actually bought Brookhaven College or Brookhaven Hospital at the time. It was defunct, and we were never the providers or anything, but we were just the financial instrument that sold bonds, tax-exempt bonds, to be able to do that. And I think that we could ask the hospital authority to get back involved in that property. I'm told they're setting over $100 million right now in funds that they have available. They are doing philanthropic things now, which I don't have any problem with that, but I don't think that was really the function it was set up for originally. And there is some great economic opportunities where these bonds are sold, tax-exempt bonds, to the authority to finance that project. And I think that project's something that's desperately needed in our community. And I'd like to see us reach out to the Metrocrest Hospital Authority and see if we could get them interested. Back when the authority was originally set up, it was all appointed by city councilmen. And then they came to us and wanted to have some board appointments, and we extended 2 or 3 board appointments, and consequently we went up and started doing work in Carrollton, and we gave Carrollton a couple board appointments on their council and different things. So it's kind of diffused now, and I don't know how much authority we have over it, but I think it would certainly behoove us to reach out to those people and see if we could interest them. They already have a couple facilities like this in Carrollton, a progressive center. So it's not something that would be foreign to them. And I think we could really put a good project together there and get something that's great for our community. Because, you know, a lot of people, they start out and they get ill. They need to move into assisted living or nursing care. And if you have it all in one facility like that, it just makes it so much easier for them to do. And so I'm a little ahead of my horse. I'm going to try to meet with Charles Heath this week. Charles was the CEO of it for many years. I was on it for about 10 years. And so, but I think it's something that's well worth our time to reach out and see if we can get some help there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Next up is Faye N. Faye N. Okay. Is there a Key West?
Hello, everyone. My name is Key West. I will not disclose my address. So, during Sonia's Massey Visual 2 weeks ago, the question was asked, how can this continue to happen? How can a black woman in 2024 still be killed in her home at the hands of another racist cop like a Tatiana Jefferson? The answer is very simple. We have elected officials who have views like Richard Jackson in places they don't belong, who appoints destructive individuals, who have the same mentally ill mindset in places they don't belong, who views us as trash.
Ma'am?
Let's break down trash.
Ma'am, hold on. I'm going to ask that you be respectful, no disparaging remarks. That's what I said up front.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's break down trash. Trash, by the American definition, is a person or people viewed as being very low social standing. Let's dissect low social standing. Low social standing refers to how others perceive a person's social status, and how that perception affects how they treat other people. By definition, it seems the low social standards of life are the white men that continue to attack others for no apparent reason, but out of jealousy, mental delusion, hate, and only to be a bully. In fact, a person's social standing can have a significant impact on how they are able to function in society. It seems the only way the white male functions in any society is to take, kill, suppress, and attack to survive. No intellectual ability whatsoever. With this breakdown being said, the only trash I see is a council member who poorly represents the constituents of Farmers Branch, Dallas County, and Texas. The trash I see are the council members who allowed you to speak such filth out your mouth and didn't check you. The trash I see is a country founded on genocidal colonization, kidnapping and rape, followed by more genocide, then uses manipulation and aggression to cover it up and deny. The trash I see is you, Richard Jackson. who only made it to a council member in your political career and uses it to tear others down and treat them less than what your deluded pea brain think is okay. The only trash I see is this government and the decisions people like you make to keep the country in modern day enslavement, the real trash of America.
Thank you.
People like
Pam?
you have no more room in our government.
Thank you. I normally wouldn't address comments like that, and I think if you had taken time to have a conversation with Councilman Jackson, you would have learned that what was quoted in the paper and the way some people reported it was taken out of context. So I hope you understand that. But thank you for your comments. Next up, Tracy Williams.
Good evening, council members, mayor. As you know, I am Tracy Williams. My business partner and I, the former mayor, Robert Dye, own a business here in Farmers Branch, Locals Craft Beer and Fine Wine, and Locals Lounge. I am specifically speaking today regarding the resolution 2024-132. And if you don't mind, if you'll be patient with me, I am going to read something that was prepared by former Mayor Dye and myself. I am writing to express our strong and urgent opposition to item resolution 2024-132 to abandon the funding and work on the Complete Streets initiative from Denton Drive to Nestle. Complete Streets have consistently proven to enhance community development, improve safety, and drive economic growth. Successful projects in areas like the Star in Frisco, Highland Park Village, downtown McKinney, downtown Carrollton, the Bishop Arts District, and Southside Fort Worth have transformed these neighborhoods into vibrant, pedestrian-friendly hubs that attract businesses, residents, and visitors alike. These developers wouldn't commit and invest millions of dollars into these strategies if they didn't work or promote economic development. Complete Streets are a catalyst for economic revitalization. In cities across the county, they have led to increased property values, higher retail sales, and new business investments. By prioritizing mixed-use developments and pedestrian-friendly designs, we can create an environment that encourages local commerce and attracts new enterprises. The redevelopment of our station area is a critical step towards realizing the vision and the position our city as a model of modern urban planning and our strategic plan that many before you have helped to create. Complete Streets also improves the safety for all users. Statistics show that well-designed roadways reduce traffic accidents and fatalities by providing safer crossings, better signage, and designated bike lanes. Additionally, encouraging walking and cycling has significant public health benefits. A healthier population translates into lower health care costs and more vibrant, engaged community members. Embracing Complete Streets is also a step towards sustainability, a big initiative for our city. By promoting alternative modes of transportation, we reduce our carbon footprint and contribute to cleaner air and a healthier environment. This aligns with our city's commitment to sustainability and sets a precedent for future developments. While concerns about road diets and potential traffic congestions are understandable, data from numerous cities shows that these fears are often unfounded. Properly implemented Complete Streets manages traffic flow efficiently, decreases traffic accidents, and enhances the overall transportation network. They balance the needs of motorists, pedestrians, cyclists, and transit riders, creating a more harmonious and efficient urban environment. Studies have consistently shown that our current traffic volumes do not justify the expansive roadways that we maintain. Outside of peak hours, traffic is minimal, and concerns about speeding and safety are prevalent. Outside of our Complete Streets focuses not only our traffic calming, but also on additional tree and canopy development, as the city and the park suggests.
Councilwoman, can you,
Wrap it
30
up.
seconds?
Yes, I will. I'm sorry. There's a lot to say on this.
I understand.
The committed funding from our government agencies underscores the importance and the potential of this redevelopment. This financial support is a unique opportunity that we cannot afford to miss. Delaying the decision not only risks losing the critical funding, but also the economic and social benefits that come with timely implementation. By moving forward now, we ensure our city reaps the benefits of increased connectivity, economic revitalization, enhanced quality of life for our residents. Thank you.
Tracy, thank you. Sorry. Okay. Next up is Julio Acosta. Julio Acosta. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Julio Acosta. I reside at 13806 Wooded Creek Drive, Farmers Branch. I come before you to speak in favor of supporting public funds for public transportation. I didn't come prepared with any studies of net benefits of public transportation to cities, but if you'd like, I can find some. I do highly encourage Farmers Branch to be a city of an inclusive future and not what exclusionary past. I did also see a post on Fox 4 that was already mentioned. While following the speaking guidelines, I hope that and encourage all public servants to live up to what we prayed at the beginning of today's meeting for all people across social, racial, and economic backgrounds with dignity and respect. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. That concludes our citizen comment. I don't have anybody else signed up to speak. Next up will be our consent agenda. There is a change on the consent agenda. Item K10 is moving to regular agenda, and that will become M2. So item K10 will become M as in Mary 2. So with that, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mayor, I have a request as well. I'd like to see K5 moved to regular agenda.
You would like to what?
K5 to be moved to a regular agenda.
Okay. Why did you do that upstairs?
Because I've received feedback from the time that we started our meeting till now from residents.
Okay. Item K5 will move to regular agenda and become M3, Mary 3. Okay. With those two changes, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I have a few questions, if that's all right, regarding K1, 7, and 8.
What?
I have some questions regarding K1, 7, and 8. K1, regarding the July 16 minutes. I think it's a somewhat misleading comments in there about the minor home repair program. The language just seems to indicate the council wants to move forward, but I think we still had questions. Yes, we want to move forward, but I think there were still some questions regarding eligibility and usage, access to all residents. Is that something we can modify those minutes?
Mayor, could I clarify on that? Because I was the one that wrote the minutes. When I say move forward, I'm meaning as a move forward to bring it back for more discussion, but we could certainly change it if you would like.
Okay. That's fine. And similarly on K7, similar to Councilman Roman, I'd like to move that off and have some discussion regarding the purchase of computers and laptops, if you don't mind.
Sir, again, I just asked Councilman Roman, is there a reason that you didn't bring this up during study session?
Yeah, I just received some information from members in the hallway, residents inquiring about.
All right, item
the
K7
expenditure
will
of that.
become M4.
And then one last thing. I'd like to keep item M2, K10/M2 on the consent agenda.
Which item? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
K.
You're too close to the microphone.
I'd like to have K10/M2 kept on the consent agenda?
Back on consent?
Yes.
No, it's already taken off.
I'd like to make a point of order. I'd like to keep,
I've had two council people request that it be discussed, so it's going to be discussed as a regular agenda item.
I'd just like to make a point of order to reconsider.
I'll second the point of order.
Just a minute, please. Go ahead.
At this point, I'd like to move to have reconsideration and move item K10/M2 back to consent agenda.
If the motion's made and it's been seconded, you call for a vote. And that's what the motion is, and you call for the vote.
Did he make a formal motion?
That's what I'm understanding. Let's get confirmation. Just for the purposes of the record, are you making a motion that item K10/M2 be retained on the consent agenda?
Yes, sir.
And was there a second to that motion?
Yeah, it was a second for me.
Okay, so I just want to get this straight, that it's your desire to deny this council and anybody else wishing to speak to this item the opportunity to have further discussion of this item. So you're wanting to deny any further discussion regarding this item.
I'd like to move it back to consent agenda. That's what my motion
By
is.
doing so, you are denying the council and any resident the opportunity to further comment on this item. Is that what you wish to do?
If you'd like me to speak to that, I can only say that we've had multiple sessions and discussions about this previously, and I'd like to continue with my motion to move back to consent.
Okay.
And it doesn't remove people from.
Yes, it is.
It does not.
We've already
remove-
have a motion and a
Excuse
second.
me, but I was speaking.
We have-
It does not give people the opportunity to not speak. People can still speak regarding then any of the consent agenda items. You just move the items up, and then we can still have a discussion if needed. Although I don't think a discussion is necessary, given that we've had multiple discussions where two previous occasions, three
All right.
council members have already given direction. So there's really no point of a further discussion.
This will be a hand vote. Please indicate you're wishing to put item K10 back on consent agenda. Councilman Roman? Councilman Baird? Councilman Reed?
No.
Councilman Jackson? No. Councilman Neal? Motion would be back on consent agenda.
For a table.
Councilman Neal was asked about K8. I just want to make sure we addressed his concerns on K8 as well. I may have misheard, but I thought.
I didn't hear anything about K8. I heard K7.
Okay. Good, okay. Okay. Never mind.
You can vote against the consent agenda.
We'll move to table the consent agenda.
Yeah.
Call from the order, can you do that?
So, as it stands, item K5 will become M3, item K7 becomes M4. Everything else is on the consent agenda, including K10. That's where we stand. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? All those signify or indicate your vote accordingly.
That's the motion first. Call for a motion first.
Before
you call for a vote, call for a motion on the consent. Motion to approve the
So is there?
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended with K10 on there. K5 removed, K7 removed.
The motion, second?
I'll second.
All right, please indicate your vote accordingly. Motion passes. Next up is public hearing, item L1. Conduct a public hearing and consider adopting ordinance number 3871 for a specific use permit for an indoor commercial amusement facility on approximately 3.61 acre property located at 14510 Josie Lane, Suite 216, within the Planned Development District number 4, PD4 zoning district, and take appropriate action.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Sarah Bergman, Deputy Director of Planning. This site is located along Josie Lane and is developed with an existing retail building that is currently vacant and has been vacant for many years. The applicant is proposing to remodel this building as a paddle tennis facility, which is a sport that's similar to pickleball, but played on an enclosed court. This use is considered indoor commercial amusement and requires approval of a specific use permit. So here you can see the proposed layout for the facility. There are 4 indoor courts as well as seating areas and other amenity spaces. There is more than adequate parking on the site for this type of use, and no major changes are proposed to the building other than some new paint and signage. This proposal does introduce a new entertainment option into this area, which is supported by the comprehensive plan, and no public correspondence has been received related to this request. On June 24th, the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval, and with that, I would be happy to answer any questions, and the applicant is here as well.
Council members, any discussion regarding this item? This is a public hearing. I do not have anybody signed up to speak to it, so I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Mayor, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Public hearing is closed. This item is marked for action, so would somebody like to make a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve item L1, ordinance -3871 as written.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Please indicate your vote accordingly. Motion passes. Thank you. Next up will be M3, which is consent agenda item K5. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. Next up is L2, public hearing item L2. Conduct a public hearing and consider adopting ordinance number 3861 for a specific use permit for an existing residence hotel on approximately 1.98 acres at 4022 Parkside Center Boulevard within Planned Development District number 64 zoning district, and take appropriate action.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. This site is located along Parkside Center Boulevard, just west of Midway Road and south of Spring Valley. The site is developed with an existing extended stay hotel that was approved with a specific use permit in 1997. The applicant is wanting to modify the site to remove the swimming pool constructed with this development and instead add a new outdoor patio and seating area. Because the swimming pool was specifically called out in that SUP ordinance and shown on the site plan, an amendment is necessary. So this is the proposed layout for the new patio area. You can see some of the amenities that are being proposed, including a shade structure, outdoor seating, and barbecue grills. No other changes to the site are being proposed. The hotel development is consistent with the comprehensive plan, and no correspondence has been received for this request. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval unanimously, and I would be happy to answer any questions. The applicant is here as well.
Thank you. Council, have any questions? This is a public hearing. I don't have anybody signed up to speak to it, so entertain a motion to close public hearing.
Mayor, I make a motion to close the public hearing and approve ordinance number 3861 as presented.
Very good, thank you.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. If you would, please indicate your vote accordingly.
Mayor, I'm having an issue. Could you please have them raise their hands? I'm having an issue with the vote.
Okay. If you would, please signify by raising hands. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay. Next up is item M1. Consider approving Resolution 2024-130, authorizing a contract with Ruddick Construction Company with a fixed bid amount of $2,678,727, which includes $150,000 in contingency funds for the branch connection remodel Phase 2, and take appropriate action.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We're here, I'm Robert Diaz, Parks and Rec Director. I'm here to go through a brief presentation on the Phase 2 renovation for Branch Connection. Just some background, Phase 1 began in early this year, and May of 2024, Prop B for $2 million for Phase 2 was approved by voters. May 24th through June 13th, Phase 2 bid was advertised. This is following the approval of the bond funds. May 30th, 2024, the city hosted a pre-bid with our construction manager, Nathan Becky. 2 vendors attended. On June 13th, 2024, bids were open. 1 bid was received, and that was for Ruddick. Just to get the council back up to date, everything indicated in red on the site plan will be part of Phase 2. It includes updating the ballroom, front building entrance, kitchen, main bathrooms, the back storage area, yoga room, offices. Includes $150,000 contingency and FF&E, the furniture, fixtures, and equipment. The Phase 2 bid is $2.678,727. Phase 1 completion will be still set for, they're on target for end of August. Phase 1 items are indicated in gray. I know a lot of, there was a few that we were able to attend the tour we had to see kind of the progress of the construction. The recommended bid, as like indicated earlier, 2.678. The project timeline details, work could begin as soon as possible. There will be some remobilization. The contract indicates 182 days, I believe, which is about 6.5 months. The funding source is the $2 million that were approved by voters, the general obligation bonds. There's also some funding from our Parks Maintenance CIP, which is similar to Phase 1. Phase 1 has some of those funds going toward Phase 1 budget as well. And I have any questions you might have. I'll be able to answer those.
Thank you. Council, any questions? Councilman Roman?
So, first, let me start by saying that I think this is a project that we've started, we've been committed to. We've had residents who have supported this, and through a vote to generate the $2 million necessary for this. So I think it's important that we continue with it. But help me understand where the increase came from. It's $678,000 over budget. What happened?
We did have there is some remobilization costs that were there, and I can bring up Nathan Becky, our construction manager. He went through some numbers earlier. He can get into a little bit more of the detail, but there are some remobilization. Initially, when the project was bid, there was the beginning prices were what was supposed to be carried over where we continued the project. And so we're having to remobilize. There's a little gap in time between the Phase 1 and Phase 2. So there's a little bit of cost increase there. This project was initially bid last year. Prices have increased. So then there's some remobilization costs as well. We also have included in that, so taking those items into consideration, we've got the contingency built in. We had a contingency in the first phase as well. And so we basically repeated our bid when it comes to the structure of the bid. And so we had a contingency in phase one, we have a contingency in phase two. Our hope, and it should be, we're already looking at some value engineering to be able to bring some of those costs down. Of course, we will utilize the entire $2 million that were allocated from the bonds, but the additional funding from CIP will help provide us the contingency we need to get the project moving forward. That's another issue here, is to try to continue the process instead of having a big lag. Of course, we could go out. One of the things we did consider was to rebid the project because some of the costs were higher than expected. But with that, by the time you rebid it out, there was only the two bidders. Actually, we had two come to the pre-con meeting, only one bid on the project. There's still, it could be that we don't get any bidders like we did, so we pushed the bidding process out. So all that to be said, and to consideration, it was, our recommendation just to move the project forward. But we do intend to have some of the value engineering as part of the process moving forward as well, and be able to put some of that funding back toward the CIP, which is what we're doing now with the first phase.
When did we bid it? Like how long, what period of time has elapsed from the initial understanding of what we thought it was going to cost to now? Was that in December?
So we originally thought we could go out to possibly do a change order to the first bid. That was another item we considered. But because of the amount it was going to be, we're limited on doing a change order. I believe we're at a limit of 25% of the original contract. So because we couldn't do a change order to the existing contract, we had to completely rebid the phase two process. So when the voters voted for the bond in May, once we knew that funding was there, we started the process right away. So between May 24th and June 13th, we advertised the bid and we received the bids. And then we did host a pre-bid May 30th. So as soon as we knew we had funding allocated by the voters, we moved forward with the process, because we didn't want to wait. And we're taking it to council now for consideration in order to keep the project moving, so we don't have larger costs and remobilization and things like that.
When you use the word remobilization, what does that mean?
So there's a gap in time between phase one completion. So for example, there was some demo done on phase one, and I'll bring up the map. Let me go back the other way. So if you look at the entire project here, phase one, when phase one started, there was some demo done. So, but we didn't touch anything in the red. So now that we have to remobilize their contractor, come back out, they'll have to do the demo for phase two. So that's having to bring crews out that they could have, if we had done the project all at one time, we wouldn't have been able to demo everything at once and kind of have a clean slate. But because of the way the funding fell, so now we're remobilizing, having vendors come out, and once it's demoed, then we have to have plumbers, electricians, and those kind of things come back out. There would have been some economy of scale if we'd have done this all at one time.
Okay. Are we going to be surprised with another increase at some point in the future?
No, if anything, we're going to go the other way. We're not going to be surprised with any. I mean, we've been very lucky. I'm knocking on wood here for phase one. We've had a few change orders, but right now we've only used about $50,000 of the contingency. And on an existing building, I feel that's a really good use of contingency. We feel like after phase one, we'll have almost that $100,000 left over, and so. I think we're doing well. Nathan, the construction manager's keeping track and Ruddick's done a very good job of their costs and updating on change orders and things like that. We would hope that continues into phase two.
Okay. That's it for me.
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, this item is marked for action. So I'll make a motion. I move to approve resolution 2024-130.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Neal. If you would, please indicate your vote accordingly. Motion passes. Thank you. Next up on our agenda is M3, which is consent agenda item K5. Consider approving resolution 2024-122, authorizing the purchase of ballroom chairs for the branch connection in the amount of $77,879 and take appropriate action.
Mayor and council, I'll have Jessica Alvarado, our recreation superintendent, also join me. I'm going to have her go and speak, and we'll be there to answer any questions you might have.
Jessica Alvarado, Recreation Superintendent. Are there any questions regarding this item?
What? You have any questions?
This was the K5? I think that
Go
was
ahead,
Councilman Roman, I believe.
So I see that you guys ended up selecting, it looks like you guys selected a chair, found a vendor, and then requested quotes. Is that right?
Correct.
Did you look for any similar type chairs with any other vendor?
Correct.
Well, that was a yes or no?
Yes.
You did
Yes.
look? Okay. What other vendors did you look at? Because I think Sit On It is the only vendor that was in the packet.
GL Seaman, there was 4, and then we brought it down to 2, and we took those to our senior advisory board, and their recommendation was to go with the GL Seaman.
Okay. So I went online and I found similar chairs. And for basically the entire thing, that included the 200 chairs with no handles on the side, 50 chairs with handles, and then delivery and installation was $39,250, which is significantly less than the $77,000. So I guess that's where I'm trying to figure out how maybe we do a better job at figuring out if there is a better solution out there, given that these chairs are going to go in the branch connection and we're already $670-something thousand over budget for phase 2. I would imagine that it might be prudent to try and be a little bit resourceful in the way that we make other purchases. If I give you the name of the provider, is that something that you guys can go and research and see if that's a better option?
Yes, I can look into that. There's a couple of factors that we kind of took into consideration. Our actively adults that highly utilize this facility need like kind of the pleather material and not cloth. So those are some things that we take into consideration when we were choosing these chairs. So the chairs that you're referring to, are they cloth or are they pleather?
These are mesh, which I think the chairs that are in the packet might be the same.
Mm-hmm. There's a mesh back. Mm-hmm. I think so, but it doesn't say.
It says mesh/upholstered models stack 4/3 on the floor. So I would assume so similar material.
Okay. So yeah,
Okay.
we
So
can look into that.
The vendor that I found, and when I looked at their catalog, it said that if you purchase one chair, it's more expensive, but if you purchase 6 or more, there's a discount. I imagine for the quantity that we're purchasing, they might be able to give us a better rate, so much lower than what I had found just by doing rough math using their catalog pricing. But the vendor is Uline. Is that a vendor that you guys are familiar with or have used before?
Yes.
Okay. And let's see. Let me pull up the catalog and I can give you the exact model number. So for the regular one without the armrests, that model number is H as in Henry dash 7684. And then the one mesh with armrests, that's H as in Henry dash 6965. And then I saw one of the things in the packet, it mentioned that we had used this business. It was a local business that was going to be providing the chairs and doing the installation and delivery. And so I kind of followed the same thing, and I called around and found a local business here in Farmers Branch that would be willing to do the installation and delivery, or assembly and delivery of the chairs for much less than $16,000. I think it was $6,000 or $7,000 what they quoted me. So I'm happy to provide that information to you as well at a later time. But
Well, Uline would deliver it, so we wouldn't need anybody else to deliver it for us.
And that was kind of what I wanted to propose. I didn't want to come here and just kind of nitpick at it, but I did want to be constructive and at least provide a solution. I think we can do better in the pricing. I think the chairs are great and everything, but I think the price is a little bit exorbitant for chairs, and so I think we can do a little bit better. So I wanted to provide an option for us to look at.
Thank you.
Maria Minter, Managing Superintendent of Public Works. I was involved in this project last year with Parks and Recreation, and and Jackie's not here to speak to it, he just had a baby. So from my background in this, part of the reason we selected those chairs too was the safety aspect. The chairs that there are now currently have, they're older, so there's a little bit of a tipping hazard. And so that was a safety aspect we looked into, and also being able to stack those and clean them easily. So the aesthetics were part of it, but it was also the functionality, the safety, and being able to move them around, lightweight and stacking. So that was part of the decision process also. So I didn't mean to jump in, but I just wanted to clarify because I was involved in that last year.
Thank you, Maria.
Yeah.
So I would like to table this item because in light of the information that Councilman Roman has presented that none of us are privy to, I don't think it would be prudent for us to make a decision on this, and you all need time to evaluate whether this is appropriate material for your needs. So I'm going to table this item for further discussion, and we'll bring it back once you've had time to go through and do additional research.
Okay.
I do have one other question. I think, Maria, you kind of jogged my memory a little bit on this. You mentioned the existing chairs, and so I guess my question is, what's the deal with the existing chairs? My understanding is some of them are in need of replacement for sure. Yes. My question is, would it be a more economical approach to evaluate which ones to keep and which ones not to keep, and then just repurchase the ones that need to be replaced?
Part of it was too with the upgrade.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. With the aesthetics, that was part of it, just starting fresh with new chairs. Also, the ones we have now last year were about 10 years old. So they're over a decade old. They've been heavily used for 10 years. So we have to get them professionally cleaned when we get them cleaned. So the maintenance costs are an aspect too, that an expense that's also involved.
How often do you get the maintenance, and how much is the maintenance?
Go ahead.
We get them cleaned twice a year, and it's right under $3,000. But those chairs that we previously had, we were going to upgrade or request to upgrade regardless of the renovation, and so they have already been auctioned off.
Okay. All right, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is item K7, which is M4. Consider approving Resolution 2024-121, authorizing the purchase of replacement desktops, laptops, and associated accessories from Dell Marketing, LP, in the amount of $139,000, utilizing the State of Texas Department of Information Resources contract pricing, and take appropriate action.
Sorry.
Councilman Neal?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. In between the study session and regular session, I was approached by a resident or two regarding the quantity of the new monitors.
That's correct.
As I look at the estimate, it looks like you're replacing 200 monitors. at a cost of about $46,000. The question is, number one, do we need 200 monitors? Is there some problem with the monitors that we have now? I understand that there is a replacement program over time, every so many years.
That's correct.
I've had monitors for way more than 4 or 5 years, so I'm just trying to get some clarity on understanding $46,000 for 200 monitors.
Understood. So we did an audit in spring, and we found that we did have a lot of older monitors that were 19-inch. So we were accounting for those, trying to catch up, because we've been using them for so long. And then we're also replacing some of the monitors for PD, for the remodel. So, and a lot of them are going to a dual monitor setup.
And so your estimate was 200 Do we
Close to it.
truly need 200, or can we?
There's a few extras, just in case some die, but we can scale that back if we need to.
Those are mainly the questions that I was approached with, so I don't know if anybody else has questions, but that's what.
Does anybody else have
brought
any
to my
questions?
So we're replacing monitors that are still perfectly usable?
They are usable, but they're slightly smaller. They're the older 19s and 21s.
Okay, thank you.
One other item, you'll see CONF, that stands for conference. So they have a speaker and camera built into them. So that helps as well.
Any other questions? Okay. This item is marked for action, so I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve R 2024-121.
A second.
We have a motion and a second, if you would. Please indicate your vote accordingly. Motion passes unanimously.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. A no is a yes vote. A no. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking abstention. I apologize.
I can change it to this.
If you would, it'll be unanimous. Okay, motion passes 4-1. Thank you. Y'all got me distracted tonight. That concludes our regular agenda for this evening. We do have study session, an executive session that we need to take care of a couple of items. So we will adjourn our council meeting at 7:03, and we will reconvene in an executive session at 7:15. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome back. We will reconvene our regular meeting at 8:02. There was no action to take as a result of executive session. Excuse me. So with that, we will adjourn our council meeting this evening at 8:02. Thank you very much.